A very warm welcome to you out there. This is Lagos Television. Yes, we are on our Lagos Today platform. We're reaching you live from our studio here in Ikeja. Lagos, the center of excellence, a state of aquatic splendor, a state of hardworking, intelligent, brilliant people, a state that is well endowed by nature. It is Lagos, Lagos here, Lagos for Nigeria, Lagos, Africa, and all over the world. And when it comes to leadership, when it comes to initiative, when it comes to innovations, Lagos State is always at the top list. You mentioned them. We have it all. My name is Anita Buhari, and I'm not on the show alone today. I'm with Obafemi Craig. Obafemi Craig, you're welcome on the program.
I told them yesterday that due to some circumstantial reasons, you couldn't come, but you were with us. And they should believe that you were with me, because we've always been in that bond of connection. Yes. So that you are saying now that welcome again. So they've been expecting you to come and say that on our behalf. Well, she said that on our behalf, and we've always done it together, and we're doing it again. And we are just appreciative of the fact that you are ever there, ever ready to be part of what we do. And this gives us the joy in doing that which we do excitingly well, if you ask me, in broadcasting business. So we say thank you for today again. We'll say thank you again tomorrow. Yes. And we'll always be bonded in this bond of relationship that must work, you know, if at all is there anything to say in that regard. So welcome. And together, Nathan Craig set to go again. So back to you, Nathan.
You know, it's been a very, very beautiful weather today.
Yes, it's been God's grace and God's abundant mercy to have this beautiful, calm
a lot of people heaved, especially at the early hours of the morning.
You slept so well.
Hey.
Okay, no, don't get me wrong. I said you slept so well.
Many people did. You know, we have expected.
So well.
Yes, I did. We expected to see that change in weather. You know, and you know, gradually we're going into the rainy season. It's a time where we as Lagosians, where we as people in our environment have to take cleaning
very seriously.
Very, very seriously.
Oh, I get your narrative now where you're going. Yeah.
We really cannot do without without taking that into
care over
cognizance.
Yes.
Whatever you give to the environment, it gives back to you. Let's keep it clean.
If you make the drainage so uncomfortable or not clean, it will get back to you.
The plastic bottle you dropped is going somewhere.
Appropriate places to dispose it.
It's going to a drainage to block it.
But we don't need to do that.
We don't need to. Dispose waste properly.
Very well. Effectively too.
Yes.
Bag them.
Yes. And you know, we will be talking about something today.
Yes, we're going to talk about what someone has been doing greatly,
wonderfully,
exceedingly well. And it's always a pride when you see that he has become a reference point. And the Bible says, whatever you are good in doing and you know in doing, do it, because you never can tell who is watching to be able to give commendations and, of course, appreciate the worth of your expertise and contributions to that venture. I think that is why
the Quranic version of that you need to tell us, because some of us are not Christians.
The Quranic will now be you are Anita Buhari, so you should explain to us.
I'm not a Muslim. I want you to give the narrative in both religions.
Okay,
I want you to balance it.
Islamic injunction too will say that for whatever you're doing right, that whatever is right to do, let us do it right, so that we can, by that extension, support what others are doing in a collective interest of managing the beauty of making life better for everybody.
You have really showed the family you're from. Thank you very much. Yes. Our topic. Let's go back to our topic.
All right, our topic is this, and it's about effective waste management in Lagos State. And there is no one so competent to speak, so capable in that jurisdiction or purview, than a professional in his right, a specialist, an expert in the expertise in waste management and environmental consultancy. And we're talking about no other one but Mr. Ola Oresanya, the Managing Director, the Chief Executive Officer of the new Lagos Waste Management Authority, LAWMA. It's a great honor again, sir, to have you on board today.
Thank you, Thank you, Anita.
Thank you. You're welcome, sir.
No doubt it's not been an easy task. Asking you to come back to take charge and face the challenges of changing the narrative. How has it been taking up this new responsibility and task that you've been assigned to do?
Well, very challenging because you have to restore eroded confidence in the system. We had confusion in the system, and we now have to rekindle the zeal of the people, the investors, and also government to believe in itself, to be able to correct itself. So it's been a tough one, but it's doable, and we've been given all it takes to do it.
It's been a tough one. It's doable. And we've been given all the tough today. We recently got to know that in moving this agency of government to another level, under your watch, new equipments have been bought to improve the service delivery, to improve effective waste management, as it were.
Well, the equipment we have now, they're not procured by the Lagos State government. It's part of equipment that was delivered to Lagos State under the state and federal collaboration in sanitation. And I think that was ecological fund office that donated the equipment, but was given to Lagos because Lagos already has an institution and a structure that can give meaning to that equipment, and that was a briquette making equipment.
What did you call it, sir?
Briquette.
Briquette.
Yes, briquette. Briquette is what you make from being able to coagulate lumber waste, organic waste, and maybe sawdust, you call it. All right, being able to package sawdust in such a way that you can use it as a refuse-derived fuel. Use it almost to burn like coal. Lagos has a lot of sawdust from the furniture industry that we have. Most of the logs from Sapele, from everywhere, they end up at our Okwoba area.
Settlement
yes.
Settlement area.
Yes.
In Makoko, I believe.
Makoko area. And we've always been having a case where they burn this sawdust. You've been having smoke belching out towards the Third Mainland Bridge.
Exactly.
And I think year 2014, was still at LAWMA then. I think we wrote the ecological office, and they agreed to finance the equipment because that was part of a collaboration that we believe we can have with federal government. And coincidentally, I'm back here when the equipment is here.
Wow.
So
what an irony.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting too. And fortunately too, we already have this timber people already. Most of them are already resettling at Agboa.
That's a junior
area. So we chose that area to locate this equipment as part of our recycling program, backward integration, whereby we know that every production, the byproduct of every production is waste, and that waste is a resource that is yet to be deployed in itself. All right, but to the producer, you call it waste. It was the beginning of a fresh economy in the zone, really.
To the producer, we call it waste. To the professional, it's the beginning of an economy.
Fresh economy.
A fresh economy, yeah, that's just the word.
From that angle, I want you, sir, to take a look at this. There are types of wastes.
Right.
Now, how are those types? What are those types of waste? And how well have you been able to use your office to manage those wastes at different degrees effectively to generate good results for Lagos? You just mentioned one. That's the sawdust that have been regenerated to bring what other types do we have, and how best have you been able to, you know, bring good results out of it?
Well, when you look at the waste basket, like I said, you know, earlier, you know, it's an end point for primary use or secondary use of items that were discarded in your waste can. But for every item, there's always a primary, secondary, tertiary, and multiple usage that you can use for some of those items, depending on knowledge and your capacity to be able to convert it to the other useful purpose. So typical dustbin, you look at it, you have paper, you have plastics, you have metals, you have cans, you have food waste, all sort of things you have there. They are really not waste, like I said. They are resource, discarded resource, waiting for secondary application. So when you come with the knowledge, right, you are at the party right now, the PET bottles on your table, the water PET bottles on your table, the moment you finish drinking the water, you are looking for the next area to discard it, because to use already a waste. But for that fellow that depends on that PET every day, it's looking at a gold mine, it's a resource. He's waking up daily to look for how to get that. So while looking at you at the table, he's waiting for you to finish the primary usage so that he can have a secondary use and as a resource for himself. So it goes on and on and on like that. And paper, we have industries in Lagos that depends on paper waste right now. For all the table serviettes you have, for a lot of other things, they come from this paper waste. We have a lot of other people that depends on the food waste.
Yes.
The food waste that you throw away is going to be used for maybe direct application for poultry usage, for the feed mill, or you use it for compost, for fertilizer production. We have a plant at Odonguyon there. That's what they depend on. All right, and so it goes on and on like that, and there's absolutely nothing called waste. Yes, absolutely.
I like the confidence with which he said it, that there is nothing absolutely called waste. Nothing absolutely called waste.
Nothing is absolutely sense.
So in which case, sir, we are getting this narrative right the way you're explaining now, that it appears as we speak, under the swatch of this new responsibility and task, you are ready to go into that area a lot of people have been asking questions about, how to recycle waste for further use that will satisfy humanity. That is what I think you're saying now, that you're readily, are you there now, or you are there in the process of making this a reality? Since you've made references to all of these availability of equipment to so do that.
Well, coincidentally, that has been on the table, on the roadmap for waste management in Lagos. There was this 2015-2025 rolling plan. All right.
2050.
2015-2025 rolling plan. 2025. The one I implemented initially was 2005-2015, and the focus of that rolling plan was to establish effective collection system in Lagos, because that was a missing link as of 2005.
Effective collection system.
Waste collection system in Lagos then, and make it sustainable. All right, and that was why we have to bring in the private sector in form of a social entrepreneurship program, where they invested and the government guaranteed their investment and were able to bridge their losses and develop their skill in collection, because to really convert, you cannot convert what you have not collected until you are collecting efficiently well, because before you can convert into other use. All right, so we have to take that upstream service first, and that was our 10 years target. And I think Lagos got to almost 90%, 95% collection efficiency as of 2015. All right, the next rolling plan was to invest in the downstream sector, which is the conversion sector.
That means the downstream sector now, the conversion sector.
Right. That means converting this resource into other useful materials. All right. And the first thing there was supposed to have developed the skill gap, knowledge gap. All right. Bring a lot of people, train them on the new economy from the waste basket. All right, it's called the circular economy concept. So circular economy.
Circular economy.
Yeah, it's taking the waste from cradle to cradle. All right. What we did 2015 was to take cradle to grave. All right.
Cradle to grave.
Yes, because that was linear.
To grave.
You know, because we were just cleaning up and dumping. So that the initial target then was to have a clean city. We wanted to have a clean city, and I would deploy all resources in getting clean cities. So it was a linear thing. It was the waste moving from point A to point B. The point A then was from the streets or from households to the disposal site, which was point B. So we were disposing. Though we started a semblance of our recycling to indicate where we're going then. All right. Now we're closing the loop. Now we're moving from that grave to cradle. So we're closing that loop, and that's what we call the circular economy. Now. So from that disposal point is the beginning of a fresh economy. And our first
cradle
step
to cradle.
Yes, from the grave to cradle now. That is the converted.
The society has moved from cradle to grave to cradle to cradle.
Cradle. Yeah. So that's a sustainable strategy, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. All right. So, and there's a tax schedule that has been developed between now and for 2015 that the state government must, 2025 that the government must run through is actually activating the 2015-2025 roadmap. All right, it's all about the circular economy. It's all about developing an army of young people or other enthusiasts who are interested in this to come. LAWMA will give knowledge. There's a resource center that's being built right now at Olusegun, where people are going to get that knowledge free. All right, and we've already registered so many people, close to about 750 people have been registered so far right now in the recycling sector who are interested, and the business value chain has been clearly defined for everybody. We have those who are sorters at source, sorters at from the mixed collections, and we have those who are into packaging, giving value to what has been sorted, how to package waste properly. Are you getting me? So that we can get value for it. Then we have those who are actually into the conversion itself, the conversion for reuse or for recycling.
That's right.
All right. So we're training people who are into these lines, and people are going to be
trained. By extension is creating employment.
Yes, we're going to create an army of investors. They are going to be the one to invest. They're going to create jobs. So it's a green job we're creating in that sector there. And it's just to bring people, because people perish for lack of knowledge.
That's true.
You have Chinese leaving their country to come to pick papers here in Nigeria to pick what we call waste, because we lack the knowledge. So the first thing we are deploying is knowledge, and it's going to be free. So we're registering people who will be trained.
Is it still ongoing? Is the registration still ongoing?
No, we're going to start that. We are building the resource center right now. Okay, the resource center is going to be built at Olusegun. We've started the construction. It's ongoing. And for all I was told, by July, the center should be ready. And that people are going to be registered. Those who are going to be specialists in paper recycling, plastics, metals, all right, then the wet waste and the rest of it. So people are going to be specialists in particular areas of that resource from the dustbin. So it's a new line of economy that is coming right from the dustbin, and that's exactly the focus, to have a sustainable approach to waste management in Lagos State.
Before you take that, for a fresher who is listening to you right now and wants to buy into this initiative that is just explained, how can they go about it?
Yeah, they can presently, what we're using now is the LAWMA platform. If you go to the LAWMA website, all right, and just go on the Google line, you get the LAWMA website. There you click on the recycling registration icon there. We register you, and people start engaging you in it. And LAWMA Twitter handle and most of the social media
platforms.
Yeah, we're deploying them right now. People are getting registered, and they also come to the office right now for that. All right, but we're deploying an app very soon. It's called a Wasteline app.
Waistline.
Waistline, yeah. The app has been, the architecture has been developed right now, and it's going to fly live with the resource center. So that Waistline is going to be the platform, even for the exchange of resource. The training can be online training. It's going to be an area where you get the online training for all these resource conversion projects, right? E-waste training, converting e-waste into new things,
training.
Construction waste, healthcare waste, all these streams. I get me, are all convertible into other purposeful usages. So it's going to be from your background and what you are interested in. Then we deploy that your zeal and your aspiration properly. So we're having resource individuals that are going to train people, and that's where government is going to focus. At least that's why LAWMA is going to focus right now. Why we still do our catch-up on collection, because what we've been doing the last 4 months is to really catch up and restore our collection efficiency. But we're not resting on our oars. We are doing the restoration, all right? We are doing the consolidation, and we are pushing to the next level.
I like that. Restoration, consolidation, and we are moving to the next level. Let me take it from that perspective, sir. We're moving to the next level. It's quite a narrative that you've given, and very commendable, and we say, wow, good job. But the question here will be, with all of this array of beautiful arrangement that is in place, my concern here will be the policy of government that will help sustain this new arrangement. What I'm saying here is, what policy are you going to apply so that players in all of these arrangements will see the need to tool the parts of how these things should be done, the way it should be done, for us to get the result that we must get in the overall interest of the arrangement?
Well, the policy document of the state is robust enough to really accommodate this. What was missing was the legal framework that gave interpretation and to activate that policy, because it was a legal framework, the environmental sanitation law of 2017. So we're doing a review of that law, especially the waste management companies.
I'm so happy. You're doing a review now.
Oh yeah, the review, and I think we're almost through. The House of Assembly is going to sit down on it and have a public hearing on that waste management sector. All right, to restore investors' confidence and also the public confidence in the sector.
So restore, consolidate, moving to the next level. Where are we now in this three arrangement? We have restored now.
Yeah. Well, yes, we had a 4 months target for restoration.
So we are still
that was November. No, that was November, December, January, February.
Okay.
We are expected to have completed our restoration strategy by February. But between February and the takeover of the new government, which we believe the government will start pressing full throttle, let's say by July. That's the second quarter of this year. We expect them to press full throttle. We need to consolidate on what has been restored. The restoration component is one, pushing the PSP back to the doorstep. Two, making LAWMA to be effective on the major highways. Three, making the sweepers, to be responsive also, so that we can continue to sweep very well. We can push LAWMA effectiveness on the road, so that public ways don't see black spots on the road again. All right, we must eliminate black spots. It has been reduced substantially, but we need to do more. All right, that's the consolidation. The strategy and the structure to do it is already in place. LAWMA is already in place, PSP in place, the local government, they're set for it. And institutional arrangement, to restore are already there. So those have been restored, and they are all alive to their responsibility. And the government is magnanimous enough to deploy resources. So funding has not been the problem.
I'm so glad funding is not even a problem.
No, the government is magnanimous enough to deploy resources. So the restoration, it's a total package, it's a total network, and everybody is included. I mean, it's an inclusive approach. And we are moving somewhere on that. So, and I think I can boldly say yes, restoration, fine. We've restored all the structure. LAWMA is back on its feet.
Yes.
PSP back on their feet. That's the restoration.
Communities now.
Yes, that's the restoration.
And so it's now a known fact of all of what we've said.
Yes. So where we are right now is consolidation.
Consolidation.
That's where we are now.
We need to consolidate between now and July. We must consolidate. The 2015 baseline, we must match it and surpass it. Then we can now say that let's roll to the next level.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
he'll have to explain to us more on the consolidation level, how they've been able to, or what they intend to do.
With all of the readiness, LAWMA efficiency in place, and the PSP back in place, the awareness of people, that is the...
and the effectiveness of the LAWMA and PSP itself.
That's right. It's just
Lagos.
mentioned 4 good points.
Very.
So you want to take a break?
We want to take that.
I know that's
exactly where we're going. We want to take a break. We will be back. Let's take a break with our Lagos album.
Tell me what you hear, and tell me what you see. Tell me what you know about Lagos. Tell me what you see, and tell me what you know. Tell me what you hear about Lagos. What's on to Baleko? What's on to Rileko? Yaku's on to Maleko. Ecomato, Oloi.
Yes, and so we've been talking about effective waste management in Lagos State, and we've been told, like we've got to know now, that this has been a roadmap that started since 2015, and that is to take us to 2025. And we are so happy that this far we've been looking at 3 pillars of operation: the restoration, consolidation, and of course moving to the next level. And from the narrative thus far, we've been told how much we've done in terms of restoring back the institutions, and of course how all of the elemental arrangements that is fundamental to the existence of this effectiveness and this waste management has been put in place. And we can proudly say, like the man so competent to speak in that direction said before we took the break, that he can rightly say now that we are just good to go. We're still here, very much here, with Mr. Olao Resoya, the man who is a professional, especially as an expert in the expertise in waste management and environmental consultancy, and of course heading the Lagos Waste Management Authority today, LAWMA. With all we've said and established now, the question will be, in all of this, where lies the place of other players, your stakeholders? How must they capitalize, take advantage, utilize judiciously to all of this thing that must work for the overall interest of what you have set out as your goal?
Well, when you talk about stakeholders, and we all need to look at the entire space for the stakeholders, and I think at the hem of a few of the stakeholder here is the CEO of the government itself, which is the governor. the city can be as clean as the government wants it, or the government wants it. So that's the primary stakeholder here. So whatever you see now is a reflection of the value of the government. The good news was that the government, yes, was determined to correct itself. And that is why the government put up a structure for that restoration. So the primary stakeholder there is the governor, then the institutions that support the dream and aspiration of the governor. I think the Ministry of the Environment is key here, because that's where the policy sits, right? And the policy that would drive the entire process sits with the Ministry of the Environment. And LAWMA is an agency for the Ministry of the Environment and for local government to drive this purpose. And the local government is also key, germane, in this whole arrangement as a stakeholder.
What is the role of the local government here? Because I was to ask that before when you mentioned them. What is their role here in the entire equation, the permutation, the calculation, and of course their influence to give this effectiveness what it does deserve?
All right, yes, I'll talk about that. But quickly, let me just conclude on the stakeholders stratigraphy here. And apart from the local government, you now have the NGOs, you have the media, and you have the populace. All right. Or there must be an inclusion with all these different groups. All right. Because the consumer of the service must be considered on the need. We cannot just be assuming we know what the consumer needs without not knowing their mind. So, and they are represented through the CDAs and the CDCs, and the media is also there to really mediate between the public and those who are deploying the service. So the media needs to know also, the media needs to be engaged to know the direction we're going. Now, talking about the local government roles in all this program, fine. The local government, when it comes to the first responder,
the first responder
in critical issues of utilities, the local government is first, because that's the first area where people will run to. So the local government needs to know, they need to have an ownership of the policy. So there must be that ownership, there must be that inclusion. So the knowledge must be shared, and local government needs to have a buy-in of that. So that's the number one role. If the local government is not in agreement with the policy, then we will never be able to move properly. So that inclusion from local government is very, very key. You need to have ownership. Then when it comes to household waste management services, all right, by law, the local government has a primary constitutional role on this, on household waste management. It's a local government function, which has been outsourced to LAWMA through the PSP, or to the PSP through LAWMA. So the local government has an ownership of that service. And when it comes to premises inspection, by constitution, local government must do premises inspection. The wole-woles of those days, it is the local government, because it's their role to ensure that hygiene, public hygiene, starts from your doorstep. All right. So when it comes to premises inspection for PSP efficiency, it is the job of the local government. The PSP LAWMA can be providing the service. The local government needs to have the monitoring instrument to ensure compliance. And I think recently we still sent letter of commendation to some of the local government who are rising up to this responsibility. So when you have the monitoring team, an advocacy team going out from the local, from the LAWMA, we always do this collaboration with local government, and they're really rising up to their responsibility. And I think I must really tell you that I'm so happy.
So that's a plus.
Yeah, it's a plus. Because the health officers too, they're all eager to work. They needed the platform to deploy the skill. So LAWMA has provided that platform for them right now, and that they are always very happy. Advocacy team, because public health education, local government are trained to do this. Premises inspection, it's their role. And when they are effective in their own inspection, definitely the PSP will drive towards efficiency also. Enforcement. Local government is the only organ that can enforce compliance for payment of services rendered.
That's right.
LAWMA cannot prosecute. It's a local government by law. So they have a lot to do. In anything, if Lagos gets so clean today, it's not just because LAWMA is working, it's because there's a collaboration, there's an effective synergy between LAWMA, Ministry of Environment, and the local government.
They try to understand.
It's very, very important. It's very, very important. It's not a one-man show. LAWMA can come with knowledge. Where LAWMA's strength lies is in knowledge.
Where LAWMA's strength lies is in knowledge.
It's in knowledge. All right. And the LAWMA has the knowledge to engage those who will provide a service, midwife, and make sure the service is delivered. As with the concurrence from the local government. So that's LAWMA's strength. LAWMA is a professional body. Having professionals who know what to give, the terms of reference to give to those who are to provide a service.
Okay. Right now, from what you said and from what I have seen living within my community, there's virtually no community now without a PSP that is properly connected back to them. At least I can say that boldly. Now, we're moving from where you stopped to a futuristic thing now, and that is the next level. In the next, we've talked about the restoration. The PSP, they are all back now, and people are really willing to pay for services rendered. But there's one thing before you take that of the future, which is the next level. There is this LAWMA intervention unit. Where precisely do they come into play in the whole of this, briefly?
Well, like the word itself connotes, intervention. Intervention should not be a permanent thing. It's a stopgap arrangement to mitigate gaps, service gap. It's a stopgap arrangement. You don't intervene for so long.
You don't intervene
for so long?
No.
Because that is a stopgap.
It's a stopgap. All right. And I think that is where LAWMA is doing. It's part of the restoration strategy. You intervene, and because government was paying heavily for that intervention, mitigating the service gap at the doorstep, because the waste were migrating to the road because there's no service at the doorstep. Some were due to policy somersault, some were due to people just doing their own thing, and gaps in institutions to make sure that they merge whatever they are doing. Because in the time past, maybe past 3 years, we have everybody working in silos. So there was no proper integration of a common interest. So you could not integrate. And because most of these institutions to drive this project, probably they couldn't have the understanding of the new business strategy for waste management. So it became so incoherent. And the recalcitrant people, or people who are not ready to obey, find it easy to just... the city became a jungle. Nobody was arresting anybody for anything. Somebody would tell, oh, they said I should dump refuse on the road. And they would dump it and they would go. It got to a level where people are now started defecating on the road shamelessly. Because they were pile of refuse, and the easiest thing was just to add your own thing, and they started defecating.
Creating health hazards.
Yes. But right now, part of the restoration was to, one, eliminate all those things, push the PSP back to the doorstep, all right, so that then restore the confidence of the people that, look, put your waste at your doorstep, PSP will pick it. In case PSP fails, LAWMA intervenes.
Intervention will come up.
That's where this
That is the stopping gap.
That's the stop gap. All right. And the intervention is to make sure that it's not that the PSP will capitalize, because many of them could not capitalize in the last 3-4 years. They didn't have a hope. The business outline was not very clear to many of them. So what to invest in? The banks could not even give them money because the business was not secured again. Nobody was giving market guarantee to them. So they could not capitalize, they could not even buy anything. So new trucks were no more there. So, but right now we intervene.
That was a challenge at one time.
Yes, we've done the intervention to allow them recapitalize, and many of them were given what we call the bridging cost.
Bridging.
All right, that okay, because some people were not paying then because of the government policy.
Yes, at the time.
And the government have to buy that, and which we did. We were paying them for that policy somersault. So those are the intervention. So it wasn't just the truck. There are a lot of areas where government intervened. And am I coming back to think it was an intervention?
Intervention. Really?
Yeah, you're coming back.
Okay.
Let's just take another break here. Let's take our sights and sound, and when we come back, we'll be taking all of this together again with our guest. He's not going yet, and it's just giving us, it's going to take us through some other understanding of this arrangement. We'll be back in a minute with sights and sound.
Lagos, land of myths, land of success. It's bringing us beauty in Lagos. From Third Mainland to Keja, no more traffic. We are no worry, Allah pere, we don't settle. Business moving for Lagos.
Government has done a lot to help us infrastructural development in the area. Retiring our roads, drainages. Kudos to the government. They've been doing well, and I wish they do more.
And do many things in this area. Then give us the truck that is carrying dustbin, and then give us free bus, and they do many things. I want to thank them for the work they are doing, for the effort that they do for us in Lagos State. We thank God for them, and we thank the government again.
I've done a lot of things, like flower, roads, and the lights. Let's really light off in our facility and planning way, and make sure that you ensure the security very tight in our area there.
It's a very fine place. I love it. Motor park, then the drainages of the waters, everything was going smoothly.
See boys say hammer.
You're welcome back. It's still Lagos Today. And yes, we still have the Chief Executive Officer of LAWMA with us, Mr. Ola Oresonya. Indeed, you have done a lot by explaining so many areas that we need to know as Lagosians and where we will benefit immensely.
And just affirming the effectiveness of how well waste management has changed now in Lagos. But I was saying I was going to ask, yes, it really has really turned around a new beginning of a direction.
Yes.
In that regard, you made reference, all due respect to you, said, to the fact that the CDAs, the CDCs are partners too in this arrangement. What are they supposed to be doing? One, and are they doing what they're supposed to do? And if they're doing it, has that changed the narrative in line with this new task and responsibility?
Yeah, they're integral component of all the stakeholders, because they actually the consumer of these services. All right, so there's an understanding of what the consumer wants. It's like giving your dress to your tailor, and your tailor has a style in mind. You could think it's a premium style, but what you want is different from that premium style. So no matter how good that style is, you're never satisfied until it gives you exactly what you want.
Desire,
So the engaging the CDAs is to really get what's in the mind. What do people really want in this your area? All right, and it differs. We have the different socio-economic settlements, and the needs are different. The man living in Ikoyi the kind of waste management service they require is even for the man living at Ajegule. It's even the one living at Ikorodu or at Ekpe or in Badagry. So we just have to engage them, no matter what level of knowledge we believe we know. We need to internalize their own values and match them and meet them at their point of need. We must take them from the point of known to the unknown carefully. Otherwise, you rock the boat. They will never agree with you. They will even tell you they're not going to give you their waste.
Interesting.
So we have to engage, and we've been doing that. And the CDC is a community representation at the local government level, and the CDA is probably at the ward level.
That's
all right. And the landlord association.
That's another stakeholder.
Yes. So part of the job of the PSP is to engage the landlord association, resident association in their area, and we've been doing this now, and they've been educating those people, and it's been changing the narratives right now. And what our advocacy team have been doing is to reach out to the CDAs. All right, we reach out to the CDAs at their meetings, and also my own office, we've been engaging the local government chairman, all right, who are in another way been educating the CDCs on our behalf. So the chain along that line, we've been able to pass the information across. And it's been really, really very, very interesting that people are now getting the buy-in, and that they are ready to go out there and do the advocacy. Most of the local government chairmen now are now the one going out on the advocacy, telling people, look, this is the new direction. Please do it this way. Pay for your waste. And so the advocacy, it's been running through because we're now having the buy-in of the resident association, the landlord association. Right now, if I leave this studio right now, I have some of these associations waiting for me in my office. They have to meet today to explain to them and what to do. People, everybody wants a neat environment. Nobody wants to live like an animal. Yes. We've been used to a very clean environment in the time past. So everything went bad. So people are looking for, how do we get our area restored back to normalcy? So people are interested, because when waste is in your community, your area, your land get devalued, your property get devalued. Yes. And that affects your state of health.
Prosperity of such
everything get devalued. So people are really anxious. They want their area restored. So the engagement has been very, very fruitful, and it's a worthwhile engagement.
Thank you very, very much. It's been a worthwhile engagement. But then we have individuals, we have families these days who do their sorting from their homes. What are the centers? How best can they connect into this initiative to really help
improve the efficiency, effectiveness of what we say?
And also generate, it's waste to wealth that we're talking about now. Generates income from it.
Because you're not saying that there are people are committed to certain things now.
People do.
Why are they doing it now?
Yeah, because they know
against the norms before, they wouldn't want to do it. Is there
he just explains to us waste.
Yes, I'll tell you what happened. In 2007, when we started the plastic buyback program, all right, we were paying. Yes, we were paying. We were incentivizing people who were picking the pure water sachet on the road. All right, and we were paying them. Before you say, Jack, we started having associations. We started having social entrepreneurs who started getting involved in this plastic recycling, and it became a big thing. Right, that people started making huge amount of money. There was a time we had an association under the EPR law, the Extended Producer Responsibility Law by NESRA. We now have what we call the Producer Responsibility Organizations. One of them is Food Alliance and Food.
Okay, let's, our guy will just make this point so that we can wrap it up. We've got signal that we must go. So you need to quickly just submit the...
All right, so I think the buyback program has actually induced that, and I think people are now making money from this recycling, and I mean...
That's why they're committed to it.
That's why they're committed to it. So it's incentive that comes.
Yeah.
All right, we want to say a very big thank you. He's been a very busy man, but... out of the goodwill of LTV, he chose to be here this time. We say a very big thank you, sir, and for this great honor done us. We thank you very sincerely. We say a big thank you. A big thank you.
Very much.
And You were not there yesterday. I did it for us, so
we will do it together today.
No.
We will do it.
I'm waiting for you to do it for me, for us.
Thank you very much, everyone. Without you, certainly we won't be here. We want to appreciate Mr. Ola Oresanya one more time for
thank you so
coming on the show. And that's the much time will permit us to take on the program. Hopefully we will see you tomorrow, same time. Do have a wonderful time out there. And remember, without your taxes, your levies, and deals, Lagos won't be what it is today. So let's continue to pay our taxes regularly as and when due. And I tell you, we will see a Lagos that is even far better than what we have today. Bye for now.
Berry is a small poppy and often edible fruit. Berries are typically juicy, rounded, brightly colored, and could be sweet or sour. Common examples of berries are strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries. In botanical terminology, a berry is a simple fruit with seeds and pulp produced from ovary of a single flower. Berries are high in antioxidants, which may protect cells from free radical damage. They improve blood sugar and insulin response when consumed with high carbohydrate foods or when included in smoothies. Berries contain fiber, which may help decrease appetite, increase feelings of fullness, and reduce the number of calories your body absorbs from missed meals. They are rich in several vitamins and minerals, especially vitamin C and manganese, yet low in calories. Berries are some of nature's best antioxidants, which guard against heart diseases, cancer, and age-related blindness. Both blackberries and raspberries contain allergic acid that helps prevent cancer. Blueberries contain substances that can prevent certain bacteria from binding to the wall of the urinary bladder. Berries are located with vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients that impact a host of health advantages. They contain antioxidants, allergic acid, which may help decrease wrinkling and other signs of skin aging related to sun exposure. Berries are loaded with vitamins and minerals and micronutrients that impact a host of health advantages. They can be enjoyed on most diets because they are low in calories and carbohydrates or frozen forms.